Hi, I'm Josh with Vote with Vision, and again we have Nathanael. And for the second episode in this series, I just wanted to talk about the hostility that we see in this recent political climate. A lot of the times we see other people attacking others, not just for the people that they vote for and the political beliefs that they hold, but they instead make character attributions based on those decisions and those opinions that they hold. It's not who they're voting for, it's what that says about their character, and that's what they're choosing to attack. So as Christians, how do we show the love of God? How do we react? What is our response when we are attacked, not just for our beliefs and for our political opinions, but when we're attacked personally? How do we respond to that?
Yeah, I think this goes back to the heart of like what it looks like to be a good Christian and to have a good witness. Having a good witness is about demonstrating your character through the way you interact with the world. And so if people are going to call you names and call you out for your character, but they do that on a baseless claim, right, without the grounds to actually call you that, that's the best way to respond, is to say, no, look at the fruit of my life. Like I am a loving person in every other area, right? If we look beyond politics. So I think that's an important thing, is to be holistic in our walk of faith, so that when people do try to criticize our character, there isn't a lot of ground for them to stand on. Yeah. But the second thing I think is that when we respond, we should still respond in love, right? We will get beat up in this world merely for the fact that we're Christians. Yeah. And we know that Jesus says that, right? In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. Yeah. And I think that that's kind of what we need to rest in when we deal with difficult conversations, is that we should not respond jumping back in anger or calling out their character or saying, well, because you voted for this candidate, you want the destruction of our country, right? Like that's not what we want to do. That's not showing the love of Christ in the midst of dealing with these people who disagree with us fundamentally and who perhaps just don't understand who we are and our own character.
Yeah, absolutely. And also it just comes back to everything on this world is temporary. Ultimately, Jesus is king, and little debates over things like this aren't going to matter for eternity. I think it's really, we have to keep in mind the eternal perspective that ultimately Christ is king, and that we can rest in him and not in the political leaders. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great reminder. I think we can get so wrapped up, especially in political seasons, in who's going to be the next leader of this country. And that's important, right? Like that's what your whole campaign was go out and vote. Yes. And absolutely we should do that, but we need to temper that with an understanding that there are eternal things that are at stake in the conversations that we have, that there are things that are bigger than just winning a political point or winning a political seat, but our perspective needs to be that heavenly perspective, that eternal perspective, while we're still actively engaged in politics and still actively engaged in the world.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yeah.